I've been kinda running out of ideas, so I went to my old trusty video ideas document. Here is where Soap Reviews, stores his amazing video ideas. For instance, why I despise furries. I've noticed that I have uploaded 2 videos analyzing both of Vinland Saga's openings, so naturally I decided to make another video on the EDs. And to be honest, after listening to the EDs, I was actually surprised that no one has mentioned how good they were. I mean, if you think about it, it kinda makes sense why the endings were kinda overlooked. If you have spoken to literally anyone about Vinland Saga, usually the first thing they'd bring up is how the OP slaps. But I have never met a person who actually likes the ED. From the people I've spoken to, a lot of them actually hate the ending themes. So I'm here to destroy them with facts and logic, Ben Shapiro style.
Facts don't care about your feelings. And let me tell you something, dear. You must have been the facts, because you didn't care about my feelings.
Jokes aside, in this video, I will be analyzing both of Vinland Saga's EDs, because if I did one ED for each of them, each video would probably be like 2 minutes. So before we begin with the video, why not consider subscribing to the most epic YouTube channel. The ED starts off with a beautiful scene of Thorfinn's village, and although the endings don't have a lot to offer, well, at least visually, the lyrics more than compensates for it. It's just like a burning torch in the storm. The burning torch most likely refers to Thorfinn. After the death of his father, Thorfinn lived in absolute darkness, both literally and metaphorically. I mean, a burning torch in a storm wouldn't do well. As you most likely guessed, it's not the ideal place to live in. Heck, even in the first OP, they referred to it as a dog-eat-dog world, which means that people would do anything, even going as far as killing someone. After that, they show us a different view of Thorfinn's hometown. And can we just take a second to appreciate how well drawn this scene is? You're done? Okay. Like a little flower blooming in a home, strongly hoisting a certain will, but sometimes still be gentle. Flowers usually symbolize fidelity, optimism, joy, and long life. I love how when the singer said blooming, they showed us the village all lit up instead of it being dark. And when they mentioned the word hoisting, we can see a ship, which was a really smart move. And I'm talking about some 9 IQ stuff, cause when you hoist something, it just basically means that you bring/raise a thing up. And here it says, strongly hoisting will, but sometimes still be gentle. I don't know whether the lyric describes Thorfinn or Thor's, cause the little flower part kinda threw me off. If you look at the rest of the lyric, it basically describes Thor's. He was a strong man, but he had a gentle personality. But the flower part is just so annoying, I literally can't deal with it. A couple of seconds later, the chorus then drops with the following lyrics, a misty moon. A moon is usually associated with females because the sun is usually associated with masculinity, but when doing a bit of research, there are some cultures that see the moon as a masculine force. For instance, the South African and the Japanese culture. The moon usually symbolizes enlightenment, and from the text misty moon, we can assume that the moon is Thor's. Firstly, because as I mentioned before, the moon is associated with masculinity, at least when it comes to the Japanese culture. Secondly, if you look at the line after it, it says, I'm missing you. Who is missing who exactly? Well, it's pretty simple. Thorfinn is missing his father. So in a sense, they are kinda having a conversation with each other. Don't believe me? Shut up. If you look at the lyrics after that, you'll see words like, listen to me, cleave your way, now hold the torch. And I came to a conclusion that in this ED, Thorfinn and Thors are having a conversation, and Thors is giving advice to Thorfinn. And of course, I won't read all of the lyrics because A, I can't read, and B, that would be boring. And you guys might be asking yourselves, why don't you put clips of the ED? One word, copyright. So yeah, I'll leave the lyrics in the description, and I highly recommend reading it. And one thing that caught my attention is the following sentence. Now hold the torches, surpass the darkness, it's just like a lighthouse in your hands. Here Thor is telling Thorfinn that he isn't alone, no matter the circumstance. And if you remember before, in the beginning I said something along the lines of a torch in the storm, and here I think Thor is talking about the same torch. I love how they compared it to a lighthouse, cause both of them are used to guide people and to surpass the darkness, as they mentioned in the song. Even if you look at the end of the ED, that kinda sounded weird, Thorfinn is holding the same torch. And as you'd guess, the first ED covered the first half of the show, so I love how they showed Thorfinn's character development through that. I mean, he was just your happy-go-lucky kid, then he turned into an edgelord. As for the second ending, there isn't much to talk about here, to be honest. The ending is both visually and musically stunning. I would go far as to say that this ending is better than the first one. I just love how everything looked, as if it was drawn on paper. I don't know what you call this sort of art style. And notice how the EDs are like a 180 transformation when compared to the OPs. I mean, the OPs were like hardcore and intense, filled with fights. But in the ending, everything is so calm, at least when it comes to the song. So that's basically the whole video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if you did, a subscription would be greatly appreciated. So anyways, my name is Soap, and I'll see you in another video. Can you help me beat Dio Brando? He is currently in my Discord server, and I need help.
Yo, I'm Dio.
So please join my Discord server, link down in the description below, so we can finally defeat Dio Brando.
إنما شرور تحيا في نفس الإنسان ليست الوحوش غيلان